Men over 60, let me ask you something. Have you ever stopped to wonder if the fruits you're eating every single day are truly helping your body, or if they might actually be holding you back? Now, I know that sounds surprising. After all, we've all been told that fruit is healthy, right? You grab a banana in the morning, maybe a handful of grapes in the afternoon, or even some dried fruit as a quick snack, and you think you're making the smart choice. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Not all fruits are your friend after 60. In fact, some of them might be silently draining your energy, raising your blood sugar, adding stubborn weight around your belly, and even affecting your confidence as a man. And here's where it gets even more important. At this stage of life, every choice you make carries a little more weight. The right fruit can do wonders for you. It can improve your circulation, sharpen your memory, support healthy hormones, and give you the energy to enjoy your days the way you deserve. But the wrong fruit, well, that can quietly chip away at your vitality, and you may not even realize it until the damage is done. That's why this video matters. Today, I'm going to show you the truth about fruit that most people never talk about. You'll discover the 4 fruits that men over 60 should never eat, and I'll explain exactly why. Then, I'll reveal 4 powerhouse fruits that can completely change how you feel, fruits that can support your heart, your brain, your muscles, and yes, even your manhood. So here's my challenge to you. Don't just sit back and let old habits dictate your health. Stay with me until the very end, because what you'll hear today could make the difference between struggling through your 60s or thriving with energy, clarity, and strength. And before we dive in, I want you to do one thing for me. If you're serious about protecting your health after 60, if you're ready to take control and feel alive again, comment right now. I'm ready. And make sure you subscribe to this channel, Elderly Care, where every single week I share practical, science-backed advice designed to keep you strong, independent, and confident at this stage of life. All right, let's get started. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Grapes are sweet, bite-sized, easy to pop into your mouth. What harm could they possibly do? For years, many men, including myself, saw grapes as the perfect little snack. You can sit at the table, chatting with family, and before you know it, you've eaten half the bunch without even realizing it. They feel so light, so harmless, that it almost seems impossible they could be working against your health. But here's the truth. Grapes are loaded with natural sugar, and at 20, 30, maybe even 40, your body might have handled that sugar without too much trouble. But once you're past 60, your pancreas doesn't work the way it used to. Your cells don't respond to insulin the way they once did. Those handfuls of grapes can send your blood sugar soaring, leaving you drained and tired afterward. And it doesn't stop there. Grapes are also high in compounds that can increase uric acid in your body. Now, if you've ever had gout, or even just stiff, aching joints, you already know how painful that can be. That evening glass of wine, or that casual handful of grapes, might not seem like much, but over time, it can be fueling inflammation, joint pain, and even problems with your kidneys. The biggest misconception here is this: because grapes are small and light, they can't do much harm. That's exactly what most people think. But the truth is the sugar in grapes adds up very quickly. It's not about one grape. It's about the 10 or 20 you eat without realizing. So what should you do? If you love grapes, don't panic. You don't have to give them up completely, but you do need to set limits. Keep your portion small, and if you're going to eat them, pair them with a handful of nuts or a slice of cheese. That way, the protein and fat helps slow down the sugar spike. And here's a better idea. Swap grapes for blueberries. Blueberries taste just as good. They still give you that burst of flavor, but they come with powerful antioxidants that protect your brain and your circulation. We'll get to those later. But grapes aren't the only sneaky fruit that men over 60 need to watch out for. There's another one that looks colorful and cheerful, and it might even remind you of your younger days. You probably ate it at school, at church picnics, or straight out of a can at home. I'm talking about canned fruit cocktails. Now, picture this. You're opening a can of peaches, pineapples, or mixed fruit. The syrup looks glossy, the pieces are soft and sweet, and it feels like comfort food, maybe even a bit nostalgic. For years, many of us thought that was a good way to get our fruit in, especially when fresh fruit wasn't always available. But here's the problem. Those cans are filled with processed sugar, syrup, and preservatives. By the time that peach or pineapple reaches your spoon, most of the natural fiber and nutrients have been stripped away. What's left is basically sugar water wrapped around a piece of fruit. And that sugar doesn't just give you quick energy, it creates a spike, then a crash. Over time, it wears down your metabolism, raises your risk of diabetes, and adds weight exactly where you don't want it, around your belly and waistline. The common mistake here is believing that fruit is fruit. People say, "At least I'm eating fruit. It has to be better than cake or cookies." But the truth is, canned fruit cocktails are closer to candy than they are to real fruit. The body doesn't treat it like nutrition, it treats it like sugar overload. So here's my advice. Leave those cans on a shelf. If you want peaches, buy fresh or even frozen. Frozen fruit is picked at peak ripeness and holds on to its nutrients. And if you do buy canned fruit, make sure it says packed in water or 100% juice, not heavy syrup. But honestly, the best choice? Stick with fresh. And speaking of sugar overload, let's talk about a fruit that almost everyone thinks of as healthy. But for men over 60, it can backfire in a big way: bananas. Now, let's talk about bananas. Every health magazine, every fitness article, and even most doctors have pushed bananas as the perfect food. They're cheap, easy to carry, they come with their own natural wrapper, and they give you that quick burst of sweetness. Sounds perfect, right? But here's the thing. Men over 60, bananas aren't always the friendly fruit they're made out to be. Picture this. You wake up in the morning, grab a banana, and eat it before heading out for your walk. At first, you feel good. That sugar hits your bloodstream fast, and you get a little spark of energy. But an hour later, you're sluggish. Maybe you feel a bit hungry again. Maybe your energy dips so much that you're reaching for another snack. That's not your imagination. That's the blood sugar roller coaster bananas it can put you on. Bananas carry what's called a high glycemic load. That means they push your blood sugar up fast. And if you're dealing with insulin resistance, which is very common after 60, your body has trouble pulling that sugar into your cells for fuel. Instead, it lingers in your bloodstream, straining your pancreas and feeding belly fat. Over time, this can make weight harder to manage and increase the risk of type 2 diabetes. Now, don't get me wrong, bananas aren't poison. They have potassium, fiber, and vitamins. But here's the misconception. People say, bananas give me energy. And yes, they do, but it's short-term. That energy is like striking a match. Bright and hot for a few minutes, then gone, leaving you in the dark. For men over 60, that crash is not just uncomfortable. It can leave you tired, craving more sugar, and even skipping healthier meals. So what's the smarter move? If you really enjoy bananas, don't eat the yellow, soft, fully ripe ones. They're the highest in sugar. Instead, go for slightly green bananas. They have something called resistant starch, which acts more like fiber than sugar. That way, you still get the nutrition without the same sugar spike. And here's a trick. Slice half a green banana into some plain Greek yogurt. That way, the protein balances the sugar, and you get steady energy instead of a crash. But bananas aren't the only fruit that can sneak up on you. There's one that looks innocent, even healthy, but it's far more dangerous for older men than most people realize. I'm talking about dried fruits. Think about it. Raisins, dates, apricots, figs. They're tiny, chewy, convenient. You can carry them in your pocket, grab a handful in the car, or toss them in oatmeal. They feel healthy because they come from real fruit. But here's the hidden truth. Dried fruits are concentrated sugar bombs. When you take the water out of fruit, what's left is mostly sugar and calories, packed into a much smaller bite. That means a small handful of raisins might have the sugar of an entire bunch of grapes. And because they're chewy and sweet, it's easy to eat way more than you realize. And here's where it gets worse. That sticky texture clings to your teeth, feeding bacteria and raising your risk of cavities and gum disease. Two things men over 60 already have to watch carefully. Plus, all that sugar can ferment in your gut, leaving you bloated, gassy, and uncomfortable. The big misconception with dried fruit is this. People say it's just natural sugar, so it can't hurt. But concentration changes everything. It's like saying a spoonful of honey is the same as a spoonful of table sugar. Your body doesn't see it that way. Once it's dried, that fruit hits you like candy, not like nutrition. So what's the smarter move here? Don't cut dried fruit out completely. Sometimes it can be useful, especially if you're on the go. But keep it rare, and when you do have it, combine it with protein or healthy fat. For example, a couple of dried apricots with a handful of almonds. That slows the sugar spike and makes it easier on your body. Now, we've looked at grapes, canned fruit cocktails, bananas, and dried fruits. The 4 sneaky culprits that can drain your energy and quietly harm your health after 60. But don't worry, it's not all bad news. Because here's the exciting part. There are fruits that can do the exact opposite. Fruits that can strengthen your heart, sharpen your mind, improve circulation, and even boost your confidence as a man. So let's flip the script. Let's talk about the fruits you should be eating every single week. Now that we've gone through the risky fruits, let's turn the page and focus on the ones that can truly help you thrive. These are the fruits that support circulation, protect your heart, strengthen your memory, and even give your hormones the boost they need. And the first on that list is one you've probably heard about, but maybe never gave much thought to: the pomegranate. Some people call it the natural Viagra. And there's a reason for that. Pomegranates are packed with antioxidants, compounds that protect your blood vessels from damage and keep them flexible. As you age, circulation becomes one of the most important keys to health. Good circulation means stronger erections, better heart health, sharper memory, and more energy for your muscles. Without it, you feel weaker, slower, and older than you really are. And pomegranates have been shown in studies to improve blood flow and even support testosterone levels, which naturally decline as men pass 60. But here's the problem. Many men avoid pomegranates. Why? Because they look messy. They seem exotic. You crack one open, and the seeds spill everywhere. It feels like too much trouble. That's the misconception, that because it's a bit tricky, it's not worth the effort. But the reality is, this fruit is one of the most powerful tools you can add to your diet right now. Here's my advice: don't ignore it. You don't even need to eat the seeds straight if that feels like too much work. Look for pure pomegranate juice, but make sure it's the kind with no added sugar. Just a small glass a few times a week can make a noticeable difference in how you feel. And if you do eat the seeds, sprinkle them into a salad, mix them with yogurt, or just take a spoon and enjoy them as they are. Think of pomegranate as fuel for your circulation, your hormones, and your heart. But pomegranate isn't the only fruit that can improve your blood flow. There's another one. This time, much more familiar, much easier to enjoy, and perfect on a warm day. I'm talking about watermelon. Now imagine this. It's a hot afternoon, and you bite into a cold, juicy slice of watermelon. That sweetness, that refreshment, it feels like pure hydration. But here's the part most people don't know. Watermelon isn't just water. It's functional nutrition. It contains a compound called citrulline. Citrulline helps relax your blood vessels, almost the same way some prescription medications do. That means better circulation to your heart, your muscles, and yes, even to your manhood. For men over 60, this is huge, because poor circulation doesn't just affect your heart. It affects your confidence, your energy in the bedroom, and even your prostate health. Watermelon supports all of that naturally. But here's the misconception. People say, it's just water, it's mostly sugar, it can't do much. Wrong. Watermelon is rich in nutrients and hydration. The key is to eat it in its whole form. Don't rely on watermelon juice. It loses the fiber and often comes with added sugar. Instead, cut yourself a few fresh slices, let them cool in the fridge, and enjoy them slowly. It's one of the simplest, most enjoyable ways to support your circulation every single week. Now, we've talked about blood flow and hormones, but there's another part of aging that men often worry about just as much: the mind. Staying sharp, remembering names, focusing, keeping your independence. That's where the next fruit comes in. So let's talk about brain and memory protection. Now let's talk about something every man over 60 worries about, even if he doesn't say it out loud: his memory. Have you ever walked into a room and forgotten why you went there? Or maybe you've set down your keys, only to spend the next 20 minutes searching for them? These little lapses become more common as we get older, and while some of it is just normal aging, the truth is this: what you eat can make a big difference in how sharp your brain stays. That's where blueberries come in. These tiny dark blue berries may look ordinary, but they're packed with something extraordinary: anthocyanins. These are powerful plant compounds that fight oxidative stress, the kind of wear and tear on your brain that speeds up memory loss. Anthocyanins don't just protect your brain cells. They help them communicate better, which supports clearer thinking, better focus, and stronger recall. Now, here's the misconception I hear all the time. All berries are the same. Strawberries, raspberries, blackberries, they all do the same job. Not quite. While all berries are good for you, blueberries are special because of the unique way their compounds cross the blood-brain barrier. That means they can directly influence the brain, not just the body. That's why researchers call them brain food. So what should you do? Make blueberries a daily habit. It doesn't matter if they're fresh or frozen. Both hold onto their nutrients. A handful each day can be enough to protect your memory and keep your mind sharper for longer. Toss them in oatmeal, blend them into a smoothie, or just eat them by the handful. Think of it as insurance for your brain. And finally, let's bring everything together. Because while each of these fruits, pomegranate for circulation, watermelon for blood flow, and blueberries for memory, works beautifully on its own, the real magic happens when you combine them. Here's the power combo. Imagine starting your morning with a smoothie made from pomegranate seeds, a few chunks of watermelon, and a handful of blueberries. In one simple drink, you're boosting your circulation, protecting your heart, sharpening your brain, and supporting healthy testosterone levels. It's like giving your body the tools it needs to feel younger, stronger, and more alive, all from a glass you can sip in just a few minutes. But here's the twist, and this is something experts are still exploring. How you combine these fruits may matter just as much as which fruits you choose. Some researchers suggest that certain pairings unlock even more benefits, while others say timing plays a role, like eating them in the morning versus the evening. The truth is, we don't have all the answers yet. And that's why I want to hear from you. Do you think combining these fruits could multiply their power? Or do you believe it's best to eat them one at a time? Your thoughts and experiences matter, and your perspective could help another man in this community. So now that you know the risky fruits to avoid and the powerhouse fruits to embrace, let's step back for a moment and talk about what all this really means for you. Now, I know what you might be thinking. It's not easy to change old habits, especially when it comes to foods we've loved for decades. Maybe you've enjoyed grapes since childhood, or maybe bananas were always your quick go-to breakfast. And giving that up, or even cutting back, can feel uncomfortable. But here's the truth, my friend. You're not really losing anything. What you're gaining is so much greater. You're trading a moment of sweetness for years of strength. You're swapping a little bit of comfort for the chance to wake up with more energy, more clarity, and more confidence in your body. That's not a sacrifice. That's an investment in the life you still have ahead of you. And here's the good news. You don't have to overhaul everything overnight. You don't have to toss out every piece of fruit in your kitchen. Start small. Take one step today. Swap just one of the bad fruits for one of the superfoods we talked about. Maybe replace those raisins with a handful of blueberries. Or trade that banana for a slice of juicy watermelon. One simple swap. That's all it takes to start, because your body is still listening. It doesn't matter if you're 60, 70, or even 80. Your cells still respond. Your blood vessels still open up. Your brain still sharpens. Your hormones still adjust. It is never too late for your body to heal, to thrive, and to reward you for the good choices you make. So don't think of this as giving something up. Think of it as finally giving your body what it has been waiting for all along. This is your chance to feel better, not someday, but starting now. All right, let's take a quick moment to look back at what we've covered today. We uncovered 4 fruits that men over 60 should really think twice about. Grapes, canned fruit cocktails, bananas, and dried fruit. On the surface, they look harmless, even healthy, but the hidden sugar, the blood sugar spikes, and the strain on your joints and circulation make them risky choices at this stage of life. And then we explored 4 powerhouse fruits that can truly work in your favor. Pomegranate to support blood flow and testosterone, watermelon to hydrate and boost circulation, blueberries to protect memory and sharpen your mind, and finally, the bonus synergy of combining them for even greater results. Now let me ask you, friend, which of these fruits do you eat the most? And will you keep it, or will you replace it with a better option? I'd love to hear your thoughts, so drop a quick comment below. Your story might even inspire another man watching this right now. And if today's message spoke to you, if it opened your eyes or gave you something new to try, then make sure you subscribe to Elderly Care. Every week, we share practical, science-backed advice for men and women over 60, so you can feel stronger, more energetic, and more confident in your daily life. And don't forget to tap that like button, because the more you do, the more YouTube shows this video to other seniors who need it just as much as you. Remember this, you deserve energy, clarity, and strength in your 60s, your 70s, and beyond. Take Taking care of your body now isn't about fear, it's about freedom. The freedom to move with ease. The freedom to remember with clarity. The freedom to wake up each day feeling proud of the choices you're making. So stay strong, stay curious, and never stop giving your body the care it deserves. Thank you for spending this time with me today, and until next time, take care of yourself because you are worth it. I'll see you in the next video.